Something is wrong with the world. You can feel it in the static, in the signals, in the fractures no one else wants to see. I thought I was chasing a secret, a hidden code, a machine buried beneath the noise. But the deeper I went, the more reality began to tear. The city opened, the mask came off, and beyond the chaos, there was another world, ancient, radiant, waiting, and in its light, a woman, Lady Avalon, not a dream, not a ghost, a guide, a warning, a key. Spirit Dial was never just technology, it was a doorway, a threshold between what is ending and what comes next. Now the old world is collapsing in plain sight, the new one is already calling, and once you cross that line, once you see what waits on the other side, you do not return the same.
I see it. The gate is open. No. Tell them I'm not coming back. I'm finishing this right now.
The signal has changed. The future is opening. And this is only the beginning.
It's the Spirit Dial. It bridges the fracture.
How long has it been here?
Waiting for you to answer. Waiting for you to answer.
Get your mind blown. Lady Avalon. Only on spiritdial.ai. The signal has changed. The future is opening. And this is only the beginning.
Welcome to your inspirational astrology horoscope for this weekend of May 16th through the 17th, 2026. I'm astrologer Dave Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, thanks so much for being a part of HighVibe.tv. If you are not, make sure that you join HighVibe.tv for the best horoscopes out there, and of course, the best spiritual network with all of our apps, website, all the awesome shows, and the full community, and all the schools that are all built in with live chat. You should get on it. And of course, definitely the best AI astrology in the world out there, Hypergate AI. Of course, our mobile app is out, and the website, definitely the best way to do it is purchase through the website and just access the mobile apps. You get more access, and you can purchase more Hypergate fuel through the website than if you subscribe to Apple. Well, it's good to be with you all on this new moon that is here in Taurus for, well, a very important moment. It's really interesting. I mean, just taking the basics, like 8 years ago, yesterday on the 15th of May, that was when Uranus ingressed into Taurus. And now here we are 8 years later, it just left. And it's now in Gemini. So this is our first new moon without Uranus. Last year, new moon Uranus, right? Going back, it's been tons of new moons, right? With Taurus energy, with Uranus and Taurus. This is the first one without it, going back to 2018. So this one's going to have a different vibe to it. Of course, the moon's exalted here. We'll be looking at the chart. But with everything that's been going on, right? I mean, we're in this halfway through May zone. In the astrology, 2026 has been quite a year already, astrologically, in the world, and I'm sure in your own personal life. But if you really think about where we go from now till July 20th, these are all major setup pieces that have been put into play, and then it's like the dominoes start falling into place and start getting flicked. So there's a lot going on. I think that people have to remember this is the most grounded energy you are going to get. I was thinking about that the last couple of days. I was like, yeah, is there any grounded energy anymore? And that's the thing, you know, with all these planets now in air and fire, outer planet wise, you know, You've been in too much grounding for the last 20 years. That's over. So get, I think it's going to be an interesting shift in the spiritual community about people trying to ground others when actually you don't want to keep people on the ground. You want to activate, you want to get them moving energetically and get them into the electricity, into the fire, into the ether. You don't want to keep them locked on the ground. So let's start with that. But that this new moon in Taurus is definitely something to pay attention to because it's shifted into a cycle that's back to normal. New moons without an outer planet in Taurus. But yeah, the last, 8 years brought on this new energy, and this is us closing that old energy. And then really it's after this new moon that we're going to move into a ton of new energy. Now, before I go into that, I do have a quick little clip here from Sedona. I'm going to be putting it up for a pretty cheap price if you want to watch my lecture. It's about July 2026 to around the same time of 2027. Of course, there's some funny jokes in this one. The whole presentation, though, is over an hour long. And it's stuff I haven't talked about yet. Anyway, but there's this one I think, I could have picked much more deeper clips that are in it. But I thought, hey, some people like to laugh. Some of my jokes are definitely Leo King style. So why not, right? So we'll take a quick look at this, and then we'll be pulling up the chart. Let's take a look.
The live feed becomes truth, but what is truth is going to be everything that was said prior in the old book of reality, like, you must do this, you must do that. You're not going to go to college, kid? Oh, but you can't, you need to take the vaccine, son. Or even I feel bad for kids today, like, I skateboarded, I, of course, rode my bicycle, I fucking do action sports my whole life, played sports. It's just e-bikes now, So they don't know what it's like to propel themselves towards someplace. If you have a kid on an e-bike, get them off now. Because it's the same transitive when Albert Hoffman synthesized LSD and took the famous bike ride. Uranus and Gemini. And that was during World War II in Germany. I think people forget about that. I know we've all had our LSD trips that were fucking crazy, but like the first bicycle ride in Germany during World War II with German Nazis around, and you're flying by yourself on a bicycle? Damn! No wonder he lived over 100 years. That guy fucking knew some truth. And I think the positive in all this is like, this is the ultimate zone, but you're going to have to let go of the whole manual of how it's done. Right? Do you think Albert Hoffman told his wife, honey, I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to synthesize LSD. And I'm not going to ride my bike. I swear I won't do that today. Good. And then come back and have your crumpets. The Fuhrer's on at 6. So here's some of the power moves to kind of think about with all these kind of basics that we've been going through. I'm going to time them all up quick. I have till 5:20, so still got 30 minutes. This is an interesting way of with Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius, and this. What's the common thread? Network, media, truth, human beings, technology, and whether or not you're really unique, okay? Because like nobody who's a copycat of somebody is interesting. Like a I know there's Geminis in this. Is there any Geminis here, fucking? Okay, yeah. Thank God. The only people that will like go in the back with me and be like, oh, that fuck yeah, I fucking motherfucker, that piece of shit. Like, this person is so fucking stupid. Thank God. That's actually where heaven is in Gemini. So God is doing the same thing. Like that fucking retard down there, like Jesus Christ. And then they try and say Jesus, oh, Jesus is born in Capricorn fucking on Christmas. Like, you fucking retarded? Like, you fucking retarded? Capricorn? Jesus. Yeah, all right, okay. On the Southern Cross, 3 days after the solstice. Okay, and he rose again to give you an Easter egg in fucking April. Or March, because we have to use astrology to figure that one out. So, well, the one thing, I was here last year, the religions are what are dying. I mean, Erica Kirk is a great example. What a fucking, God just sent this beautiful human soul to come down and destroy religion. I was like, thank you. With her glitter pants and everything. And then they sent Ben Shapiro to take out the other religion. And then they sent, well, actually, I don't know what's going on. The Middle East might take over. And that might be a truth we have to deal with. Because as Westerners, we have to remember now.
So that's just a little fun clip of me going off in fun Sedona. And actually, it's all about the human avatar in the new timeline that we're all in, that we all have to really go on. And so that's an interesting concept, and it's more than a concept. I would call it an astrological truth. All right, let's take a look at this new moon chart here and what we're going to be dealing with here for this new moon in Taurus energy. And it's all new, right? Because it's all Uranus is gone energy. So that's number one. Uranus is now, of course, in Gemini. It ingressed last year, but last year the new moon in Taurus had Uranus still in Taurus and transiting there. And so this is different. This is now that blip that changes the matrix completely, especially now that we see Uranus beginning that sextile to Neptune again like last year. But now we've got that Uranus trine Pluto getting closer. Of course, it's Jupiter that's going to be the one that really does kind of pop off all these transits. But it's very interesting because this new moon happening at 25 degrees, 57 minutes of Taurus, with the moon, of course, exalted here. It's a very happy place for the moon. And there is no more Uranus. Trust me, as a fellow Taurus moon, Uranus came in 2018 on May 15th, fucking 8 years ago, and it came out just about a month ago. And I can tell you the last 8 years, my whole personal life, just fucking, what the fuck was that? So, us Taurus moons out there are very happy for Uranus to be gone. And as a collective, we should all be very happy as well. But it's an interesting zone for this new moon. This new moon happening on the fixed star Algol, the demon star. It was actually Coyote Astrology. I'm actually going to pull it up since she's been pulling it up. I'm like, me and her go way back. That Lucifer's on the south node. I just want to throw that in real quick. That was a good catch by her. I used to run Lucifer a lot, but not lately. But it's perfect because that's why you have, when you have good astrologers in your life, they're going to be on top of something, and I'll be on top of something, and then another person will be on top of something. So, do they put it under minor bodies? Yeah, I think they do. Lucifer. Yeah, they do. There we go. Let's add Lucifer. And oh, wow. It is exact. Yeah, she is correct. We'll add Algol on there so people could see it here. Stars. We'll add Algol. Algol. There's Algol. The binary star that has no predictive energy of which star is going to emit more light. So right when you think, and that's the part of power. So if you're going to use this new moon, especially, I'm going to manifest everything and use it as a power obsession. Yeah, I would not recommend that. I would not put your crystals out for this new moon. Although I don't recommend that for any of them. But right on top of the star Algol, and then we have the south node, which it's more than just Lucifer being here. Exact. It's Pluto in exact quincunx. It's Jupiter in semi-square to the south node. This new moon is truly here to build fresh, while at the same time knowing, okay, there's a lot of power here. So many planets have shifted. You know, Mars is the probably other biggest thing here I got to add before I go down into this rabbit hole with y'all. Mars in Aries, the ruler of Aries. It's already been with Saturn this whole transit, of course. It's pretty intense. Mars, Saturn, the two malefics, and Neptune, which definitely can be a malefic. But it's Chiron, and the last conjunction of Mars, Chiron, and Aries, which ironically, Chiron ingressed into Aries the same time of 2018. Not the exact date, but 2018, Uranus made its first ingress into Aries. Just how Uranus went into Taurus, then Chiron went in Aries, right? This is the last one for 50 plus years, right? So I think it's, or for 50 years at least. So you have to remember, like, this is a big deal. Mars conjuncting Chiron, the ruler. Chiron's here, and it's on this new moon. You're going to have to own your self-worth and your value and say, yes, I'm creating from this new space. Yes, everything that I thought I could patch things together to create from, or that I thought would be stable, hasn't been, including the world itself. And if you're going to play victim anymore, this is where we kick the victim and all of us in the nutsack. Okay? Mars rules over Aries. And this Mars is saying, how dare you, Chiron, be sitting in this house of mine and be on the floor of the tent in the war and start complaining and start saying, but my sword isn't sharp enough. But I can't charge the field. Nobody likes me. I have too many boils on my face and there's nobody to put Botox in my head. That's what's been wild, right? The amount of Botox and fillers in people's faces since 2018. Chiron and Aries. Right? This Mars is just like, we're done. We're done. You're done. Get it. We're getting you out of the tent. You're done. This whole victim mentality, I'm never going to get what I want. Nobody ever sees me the way that I want to. This is primary first because Mars is the ruler of Aries. Okay? Nothing else has the ruler in it but Mars. Right? So Mars is the ruler. And that's the highest in the hierarchy of dispositorship. And plus Saturn happens to be in there too. Then you look at this moon, okay, it's exalted in Taurus. And it's a new moon. Well, you're never going to be able to create from this new, better, after all the wild last 8 years of your life with everything you thought would be stable, not being stable, if you're still carrying this victim in the tent, right? So kick it in the nuts. But then it's going to play victim like I got kicked in the nuts. Oh my God. It's like, shut up. It's like, this is where we have to go. I'm never going to get anywhere in my life if I keep looking at what I feel as an individual, because it's always very Aries, right? What I feel, I got shafted, right? And the blame always comes to another person, Libra, opposition. You can't keep blaming the government. You can't keep blaming a person, this relationship, this thing. You can't place blame on other people. You have to take responsibility in your life for like, hey, okay, I've learned lessons here. I've got into things that, okay, I learned to heal by, okay, like maybe I was too pushy into this, or maybe I was too excited and moving my energy into this, whatever it might be. Okay, it's time to let all of the weird, especially this would be like a double combo of like insecurities, right? Like, especially with this new moon being in Taurus and so many hard aspects of the South Node in Virgo, if you're just going to keep stressing over every little thing and letting every little thing get to you here, you know, this Taurus is like, hey, we're trying to bring stability here, and there's not a lot of stability that's going to be around for the next, decade. So, this is us planting the new seed, but the evolved seed. We have Mercury just made its cazimi with the sun just in the last couple days. And Mercury has been fast as it can go, 2 degrees and 11 minutes a day right now. So Mercury's flying fast. The only planet we have retrograde is Pluto. And so I think that, you know, this is definitely a good Mercury too, because of the fact that Venus is in Gemini. So we have the mutual reception, right? Venus would rather be in Taurus, Mercury would rather be in Gemini. So it's a great aspect. And actually it's giving great points in dispositorship. So this is a really good actual manifesting, but it can't come from this idea of like power. Well, what kind of more power can I gain to make the victim feel better and yourself? That's not going to work. Anybody who's doing the cry me a river, stay away. Be careful. Be careful. That's the unevolved energy. I do not want to evolve. I want to blame it all on everything. I don't want to own any part in this. And this Taurus energy is like, well, if you want a better life, you got to own not just the value, but you got to own the things that you create in your life, that you manifest and that you bring into your life to go through. Now, it's an interesting one since we are in a Taurus new moon. So where's Venus? Oh, Venus is in Gemini. It's at 27 degrees. At least it's not squaring Neptune and Pisces anymore. But this Venus has been out of bounds for a while, and it's a Venus that's been slowing down. It's only doing 1 degree and 11 minutes a day. It's been going down a couple different seconds a day because we're within the range of the Venus retrograde zone of the 6 months before the retrograde that started just about a month ago, where you just start to see Venus slow down, right? Venus is in the karmic zone, setting you up for the Venus retrograde in Scorpio. That's every 8 years. That's the other irony, right? Is that all this Taurus energy and this new moon is reminding us of where we were in 2018 in the events in May on the 15th when Uranus came in. And then, by the time that we reached October, it was Venus retrograde in Scorpio in opposition to Uranus. Now, we're not going to get that this time, but we will get Venus in quincunx to Uranus while it's in Gemini. And it is every 8 years that we go through Venus retrograde in Scorpio. So I think that there's an interesting reminder here that everything right now is every level or every tier of astrology of uniqueness or setting things up in a karmic way or even a dharmic way are happening. It's Venus already in that weird zone. Venus is out of bounds as well, way far up north, right? 2456 north in declination. So that's having our values, our ideas, our curiosities. We got Uranus here. We got Mercury and Uranus about to conjunct in Gemini for the first time in, almost 80 years. I mean, like this is going to be extremely fast energy after this new moon. This new moon is like trying to hold and contain and make sure that you have the container within yourself ready to go, to create, to take on the things that you've wanted. You've done all the work. All the dominoes are about to just plop. So, then you have Saturn, Neptune, that's another layer. Then you have Mars, Chiron, that's another layer. Then you have Pluto and Jupiter both making very weird and hard, minor aspects here to the South Node with Lucifer on the South Node. I mean, this is really the fuel to the worst fire. The nagging, the nitpicking of yourself or another person or externally about your life. Trying to run your life on a certain schedule and just like force it ain't going to happen. At North Node in Pisces, you got to go with the flow and where things go. It's like we live in a world right now that like we have to value things again, and trying to cut things out so much isn't really working when everything that's already naturally being cut out by the universe is kind of extreme, whether it's gasoline, whether it's just trying to survive in life, right? And you can't play victim on that. It's like, okay, even if the job market's bad, or even if this, or even if that, you got to show up. And that Lucifer to me can at least show us, from the dark to the light in a weird way. It could definitely also take us down some very unconscious behaviors, very much almost kind of like the devil card, and be trapped. But the positive is that we're clearing out this naggy, poor me, and, you know, Virgo is the slave. That was before the virgin. It was the slave. I know people don't like to hear this, but right, the woman in the field picking the fucking wheat, the slave. If you ever watch Gladiator, you'll get it. And of course, that happened in Rome, right? So, this feeling like I'm a slave to my life, that I'm a slave to this hamster wheel, at least Taurus goes, I'm not going to do that. That's not a grounding place for me. I don't want to sit on a hamster wheel. I don't want to sit in a treadmill every morning at 6 a.m. and listen to you yell at me and tell me that I'm not a good human being, or that I can't, you know, like there was a new study that just came out. People that go to work out early in the morning, they do not respect anybody who doesn't do the same. That'd be like me being like, you don't do astrology? How fucking retarded are you? Like, I'm not that way. You know what I mean? I get it. I get why people don't do astrology. It's a lot to know. And it's something that any astrologer will tell you, we didn't choose this shit. It just showed up in our lives. So, you know, it's like kind of crazy because this South Node Virgo to me is playing way more harder than we realize. It's the illusion of the grounding, because we're in a Taurus new moon that is about grounding, is about really creation, is about this more physical. Of course, it's a fixed earth sign. There's no more Uranus here, right? So you don't need to take some extraordinary, crazy action. But you do have to take action with Mars, and a lot of that's kicking the victim out of the tent and in the nuts. And then there's Uranus and Gemini now, right? So we need to be social. This is also an interesting new moon since Venus is in Gemini, and that's a good neutral social place for Venus, and Uranus is there. The two relationship planets are in Gemini, right? So our curiosities have to be fulfilled. They have to be manifested. And with Mars finishing up here in Aries, Venus finishing up here in Gemini, we're starting to see the sextile happen. Right? So it's like, and they're going to be sextiling after this new moon as we finish this weekend and come into Monday at the 29th degree. They're going to be sextile. And so there's this very, let's go, right? What do you have left to lose? There's nothing left to lose because it's all been taken out of your life. So the idea that you can try and control it right now by keeping it wound up in this hamster wheel, keeping it wound up in a Virgo's notepad. Geez, I don't even want to know. You know what I mean? Take the glasses off, Virgo, and relax. You don't have an aneurysm right now that people aren't at the gym at 6 a.m. Or that, geez, I'm sorry that there's a little bit of sugar in the fucking soda, you know? Taurus appreciates that. Right? Virgo is where we try to nitpick every little thing out. But Taurus is where we, that's beautiful. I know it's a lot of money, but I know it's a little excessive, but. And we live in a world right now that everybody's convinced themselves that it's okay to sit around in fucking hell poverty and be a slave and then give all of your money to the governments. And have them completely not spend it on anything that any of us want. So, is there an uprising from this? No. But it's the beginning of the foundations of that. Right? It's the beginning of, I know my worth. And my worth is not the victim that I have picked the scab at. You know, I think it's also interesting because Pluto is very much in quincunx to the South Node, and it's Pluto in Aquarius. It's like, well, we're never going to be able to to at least go down some sort of rabbit hole and at least explore alternatives in our life and a better life, especially when it comes to trying new things, exploring territories we've never done, meeting new energies where we've never been met before, and allowing ourselves to evolve when we're stuck in this Lucifer South Node in Virgo, a new moon in Algol conjunction with Ceres too. That's what's interesting. Ceres, it's a great asteroid. It's definitely an energy of birthing and motherly, especially in Taurus. So it's almost like we're birthing ourselves here. And we've had enough time with Saturn, Neptune, and with Mars here over this last month to be like, hey, who are you really? What is not you? What is you? And this is the new moon that says right after it, you better fucking show up. You better put your money where your mouth is. You better put the foot in front of the other and actually put the feet on the pavement and make that shit happen in your life. There's nothing, like, I don't care who you are right now. This new moon is not so much about, yay, it's a new moon. It's yay in a way of like, better show up, motherfuckers. Better start, that's, everybody's in a crunch right now of like, I need to manifest this. I need to create this. This is what I am in my life, and this is what it needs. And these are where the curiosities lie. All that's Gemini energy. Venus out of bounds. Venus already in the karmic zone before the retrograde. Jupiter's sitting there in kind of an interesting spot. We do have a sextile that's fading away. That's, separating, but it's still there. And it's like the abundance that's surrounding us, the options can maybe sometimes be too much, but that's because maybe you're trying to fit everything into some little small idea. This North Node of Pisces is saying you got to think wide. And with Uranus and Gemini now squaring those nodes, things are going to come out of nowhere, quick, fast, and you have to show up. And that's what's interesting about this Taurus energy is like, even if you thought something showed up fast over the last 8 years, it kind of didn't. It kind of lagged. And it just kept disrupting. And it kept gnawing at values and questioning things. So, this is also a new moon to get rid of the beliefs and these old belief systems of like, well, anything that comes in fast won't work. Well, yeah, when Uranus is in Taurus, anything that comes in fast now with Uranus and Gemini is the only thing that will work. So everybody has to reprogram their values, right? Like, I want something slow and it's going to take me some time. No, not. We live in a world of AI right now. No. Right. OpenAI just came out with it on Codex. I could be on my iPad. I could be on my fucking cell phone, and way better than Claude Code ever created. Their fucking remote process is insane. I could be fucking literally at the line with my kids and be fucking coding a whole business with any of my computers, all of my computers, all of them, at my office, here at my house. So I can have 2 Macs and 3 PCs, all with different repos on them, and I could be talking to all 5 of them and have all 5 of them. I could have one using my NVIDIA cards and like doing crazy, fucking run those parameters and train some crazy ass shit on my GPU, while then cloud doing and updating my Git, updating this repo, using this new update on the CLI and or the MCPs. I mean, we're if you're not at that level right now, think about it. Go look at the world right now. Where's all the value put at? This is a basic new moon Taurus test. Where's all the money at? Where's all the value at? So online, people are putting their value in decentering men. I can't even believe that's like the trend. All those same people are the most victimized, acting, and just everybody's at fault but me, and don't have money. Then you have people that are putting all this energy into these new technologies, these new energies, and they're tripling down, right? Venture capital's tripling down on that. People are, corporations, businesses, everybody's going, okay, I got to figure out AI. Well, that's actually the move. Whatever is technologically more advanced, interesting, curious, when it comes to relationships, what does move quick? What does have stimulation? What does have curiosity? What is flexible? Not so rigid anymore. So the introvert that's rigid, no, it must take 10 years to walk through my door while I'm drinking tea and having a fucking blanket. Those days are over. Or you'll end up as an old maid. The term old maid came out after all like Neptune Aries and shit like that. I don't know what the guy version will be. It'll be like degenerate old man. But don't be no old maid right now. Don't let me start pulling out some fucking playing cards and start playing some old maid. Man, that'll make me feel old. I'm in my 40s now, and I know how to play old maid. Damn. So this is like the big choice. I'll make this easier. Are you still living in the old reality? Are you still living in the old values? Are you still living in the old creation? And you think it's going to survive? With the Venus retrograde in Scorpio on its way this fall? With Jupiter coming into Leo to meet with all these outer planets that are going into a place we've never seen before? That everything's saying, move into what you've never done before. Move into what you've never seen. Everything is going to move faster than you've ever seen it move after this new moon. I know it's not felt that way, even though it has at the same time. When it comes to actually creating our lives and where it's supposed to go, that's what this new moon's about. It's the container that says, are you buckled up? You got your values? You kicked that victim in the nuts inside of you and you threw it outside the tent? Good. Because it's on like Donkey Kong. And to not get trapped into old value systems and old patterns of the physical, South Node Virgo, Lucifer there, that are trapping you like, well, this is the way it's supposed to be done. This is the way we're supposed to work, this way. This is my schedule that I'm supposed to do, and this is like what everybody else on TikTok says to do. Decenter men completely. It's more of a joke, but it's like, I can't believe that shit is the fucking trend right now. I'm not even going to that. Decenter man, oh my God. All right, just like when somebody brings up music, only bring up women only. At the job, it's the boss, and you just say, oh, and you assume it's a lady, and da-da-da. Okay, whatever. Us men are going to make it through, and we're not going to fucking throw some DEI shit out there. We're just going to fucking laugh at the whole thing. Okay, that makes the feminine look really weak. I just was saying on High Vibe on Full Disclosure the other day, I was just to Natalie on the show live, and I said, I think it's been very difficult for me as somebody who really propped up the divine feminine for over a decade for it to turn where it went. As a man, it's like, I want to go erase every divine feminine video I ever made, which is like 500 or 400 just on YouTube alone. They mentioned it and brought it up in horoscopes and deep astrologies and uncuts and it's like, I feel ashamed. Because it was hijacked. So that's what's interesting is like, think about this energy, right? This is this new moon in Taurus feminine surrounded by all this masculine energy. And then we move into masculine when the sun coming into Taurus next week. Gemini next week. And then Mercury just this weekend. Right after this new moon, we got Mercury and Gemini conjunct Uranus. And now it's like, if you're not ready to take the quick, the fast, the instant, and this very masculine energy, ain't going to go too good for you. I mean, we have to explore these new personal life things with Jupiter here in Cancer, and Jupiter's almost in a Leo. I mean, we are, and if you look at the helio chart, Jupiter's already just ingressed into Leo. We're already seeing all this. So the solar system's already prepared, and then now here's this new moon. Like, are you ready to go? Are you going to be on that old timeline? Are you going to be on that old, like, I need to do it this way, and this is how it needs to be? Are you going to be an isolationist? This is very social, Uranus and Gemini, Venus and Gemini right now. And that's where the value should be set high. Connecting. Like, all your computers should connect to each other through your phone. We're at a place where that's very easy to do. It takes 2 minutes now. But still, the amount of people out of the population in the Western world doing that is still under 1%. You should be able to run a business, do all these things, have all these agents, and do it all, and do it from your fucking phone when you're at the line at Disneyland with your fucking kids. And if there's a problem, be able to be on your phone and be like, yeah, fucking, oh shit, look up this fucking Git. Here's this doc. Maybe that's the issue. Or what's the, oh, that's the issue? Okay, let's fix that. Let's push that. Let's deploy it. Let's go. You know, Taurus might be slow, but when it gets moving, which is going to be getting moving even more with Mars that next week comes into Taurus, where it is at detriment, right? And with Venus that'll be in Cancer, you know, that could feel a little bit more slow energy. And with Pluto that just retrograded, even though Mercury's at its fastest speed, we're going to have a little bump here, and that Mercury's going to go through Gemini quick. And remember, Mercury's retrograding in all the water signs. And this next Mercury retrograde in Cancer will be very difficult because it'll be Saturn saying goodbye and starting to retrograde. Right, we're going to start seeing the retrogrades. Venus will be slowing down. We'll see Mars already slowing down too. We see Mars slowing down because Mars retrogrades at the end of this year, the beginning of 2027. And Virgo comes back into Leo. I don't know what to tell you, but like, this is the heavenly gate. Like, this is what you do from this new moon until the full moon in Scorpio, like, will determine so much about your whole life for the next like decade. And what you create and what you say yes to and what you jump on. And you got to have understanding of boundaries well. But in Taurus, we understand boundaries well because we either have value for it or not. You can't be on the fence anymore about your value. And especially you can't be playing victim. And also becoming a person that you truly are not. And then that's only going to attract things that you are not. We have to be very intentional now. But we also have to keep our doors wide open of curiosity, and whatever is the spark that's just like, okay, this is a fuck yes, really quack. Okay, let's go. Let's jump. Let's do it. Right? We are halfway almost through 2026. We are halfway to human design and the cross of planning ending and the cross of the sleeping phoenix coming, and the whole world is going to implode and all these systems, and we're going to have to survive for the next 400 years. Even in the Mayan calendar, we're over halfway through the Katun we're in. That started all new, whether it was Baktun, Katun, all of them started all over on December 21st, 2012. We're already half the way through the Katun, the 20-year one. And that's where the famines come, and that's where, you know, all these weird shit happen if you look that Katun up, and the halfway through it. And I'm just telling you, you can't live in the old, I'm going to sit and wait. I'm just going to sit and let the universe just bring me something here and not jump on it when it does. You know, the foresight that you need to use this new moon for is, I'm not going to live my life in this victim world anymore. And I'm going to actually allow myself to go co-create with the universe, with others. I'm going to go do what's exciting. I'm going to go stop feeling like I'm losing. This is Mars and Chiron, right? You got to finally overtake Chiron here and say, okay, you're not the winner, Chiron. You're a loser. You taught me a lot, but go be a guide somewhere else. Get the fuck out of here. Because you have to remember that Chiron is a soldier. A warrior, and Chiron is the wounded warrior that then becomes a wounded healer. And so in Aries here, this is like, You can play victim all you want, but you chose to go into the war. I don't care if you got shot with an arrow full of fucking poison that takes away your immortality. You chose to be in the war. So that's the whole lesson, is his victim life doesn't really work out for him, because Zeus doesn't go, well, I feel so bad for this victim. Look at this guy who lost his immortality, became mortal. And if I make him immortal again and he gives his liver to Prometheus and helps us out, well, then he can be a great guy, because at least he's an immortal who lost his mortality, or his immortality, and became mortal and had to fear death. You have to look at it like that right now. Like this idea that forever you've been stripped away from things that just feel like, what the fuck, or this will never happen, or whatever. That's not true. This new moon saying, buckle up, Buttercup. It's time to roll. Because it's kind of interesting just thinking about, if we move this now just to the next day on Sunday. And look at that. Mercury, Moon, Uranus, Venus, all in Gemini. Mars, 29 degree at the anaretic degree, with Venus about to move to the anaretic degree that night, Sunday night. That is a lot. We're already out of the new moon. We're in that beginning waning crescent moon, and we'll be able to see that set. On Sunday evening. It's going to be pretty beautiful, actually. I want to change that shit to fucking hours. Here we go. Everybody will be able to see, once Mars comes down the horizon, the sun. Mercury barely. You'd have to have some good eyes. But you'll see that crescent moon with Venus. It'll be very beautiful. And Jupiter. The three benefic energies right here. And Venus is getting closer to the descendant, right? Because she's falling and getting ready for her return to the darkness this year, to then become the morning star at the beginning of next year. I think it's important, though, to remember, with Mars now at 29 Aries, Venus coming to 29 Gemini, Mercury Uranus conjunction in Gemini, that's with this beautiful setting for the whole world that day, Sunday evening. That's the promised land being shown, of milk and honey, from the Taurus angle to the other parts of Taurus, which are Gemini tropical, that are like the Seven Sisters, all of it. I mean, this is the activation of the universe. Like, God wants you to go create and be curious. Okay? Like, you're not the snake. Okay? You're not the snake fucking in the Garden of Eden. Okay? You're not Lilith either. Go find the fruits of this earth right now and manifest it in your life. You don't have a lot of time. Because then what propels it to the next level is truly this next 2 months. And, I'll just show you. I haven't even showed people on High Vibe this yet. But I'm going to give it to you all straight, as I always do. Let's just go 1 month from right now. Okay, Venus will be in Leo. That's cool. Whatever. It'll be in opposition to Pluto, exact. But watch, it's like Mercury slowing down, Mercury in Cancer, Jupiter near the end of Cancer, Mars in Taurus going slow, Saturn still moving, so we're all right. 1 more month, right before July 20th. Here's all the outer planets. We're going to see in between that Mars conjunct Uranus, but not Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Ooh. Let's go to that real quick. Let's look at that retrograde of Mercury. June 29th. Mercury stations retrograde at 26 degrees of Cancer It's right before Jupiter ingresses into Leo to start trining Neptune, to start really coming into alignment. We see Mars ingress into Gemini that day. So a lot's about to happen in this one next Mars cycle of a Mars that's slowed down. So if you think about it, what's the date? 15th, 16th, okay, 16th, 17th. So Mars in Taurus definitely picks up speed as it gets going, even though I'm not talking actual speed, it's actually slowing down, so it kind of could be a little bit difficult, but it's Chiron in Taurus too. That's a whole nother transit we're going to be talking about over the weeks ahead to prepare for. You think the economy is bad now? You think the gasoline and we all need something? Oh shit. And in square to Pluto? That's why I'm giving you all 2 weeks. Right? Because you're going to need more courage than you've ever found in your life with Jupiter coming into Leo. With the South Node coming into Leo. And it's not, then you're going to have to be technologically advanced and innovative with the North Node and Pluto getting ready to come in together in July. And that's going to be 18 months of that shit. So I just want to remind people, like, this is going to get gnarly. You have 2 weeks max. You need to make crazy moves. You need to try that. You need to jump out of this. You need to jump into that and try it. That's what this new moon is setting you up for. And the seed that's being planted. By the time that we get to the new moon in Gemini, which will be within this time period that I show you, right? That one's going to happen near the end of Gemini, right? Like, it won't be a bad one, but it won't be the all-star one. Right? It's going to be Mars on one side and Jupiter on the other. It'll really be interesting, though, that Mars-Uranus energy coming in. We're going to see Mercury, though, and so it's really the Mercury in Gemini here that we want to use the most for after this new moon in Taurus. Like, Mercury conjunct Uranus is Hermes coming down at lightning bolt speed with the trine to Pluto beginning. Like, get it going. Try that. Try this. Neptune in sextile to Uranus. Neptune in sextile to Pluto. Right? Like, this is Neptune being at the focal point of all that. Like, get out of the delusion that you can't have what you want to be in your life. But also become aware of the delusion of the false avatar that you actually think that you are, that you're trying to be, that ain't fucking clicking. And that takes some understanding of where you place your values. And how much victim energy is running in your system. I mean, Chiron and fucking Taurus. Are you all ready for that? Have you even really conceptualized that one yet in this fucking energy? I'll give you one example. Ingress, Chiron, 0 Taurus, and we're going to do the last one. Okay, so June 19th, that's the date. It comes in 2 days before the solstice. But back last time, the first time we had Chiron moving to Taurus was May of 76, right? May of 76. So let's take a look real quick. May 1976. And that was weird because it was like the 200th year anniversary of America. Economy, oil, inflation. The U.S. economy was in a fragile early stage recovery characterized by stagflation. It's exactly what they've been warning us about for the last couple of years, stagflation. While the worst of it was 1973 and the 74 oil crisis had eased, energy prices remained elevated. And inflation hovered between 5.5 to 6.5 annually, paired with an unemployment rate around 7.5%. We're at 4.4 right now. right? Consumer inflation eased significantly from a mid-decade double-digit peaks. Those were easier times, though, with the economy stuff. The oil was hovering around $12 a barrel. We're at the $100 and plus. That's why the universe is giving you all this energy to make the moves fucking now. The oil shock of 78, 79. It kept going after that. Federal Reserve history was resulted with associated with events in the Middle East. If you think this Iran war thing is over, you're fucking dumb. The 1970s energy crisis. Real. Look at that. In 76, real. And then following that, it went up dramatically. And then 2004 and 5 during that war, we never still saw the imported cost. And this is American shit. If you're in the EU, this is double. Don't even get me started with the whole ethanol thing. Okay? You need to prepare now. Chiron and Taurus is going to come out of nowhere by June 19th. We are a month away. And you're going to have Mars and Taurus. It's a lot harder to make your bigger choices. You just sit on it longer. So I think it's very important right now. This is the new moon. You better know what you want, and you better start planting that seed. And when it shows up, you take it. Or you're going to be singing the Eagles' Desperado. If you don't know that song, you should listen to it. It's one of the top songs ever made in the world. I mean, we're talking really gnarly shit here. There's a stock market crash from it. And you know what's crazy? The whole shift of the Iranian Revolution is all based on this shit. The recession. Look how bad it was in 75 into 76. And then there was like a little mini recovery. It wasn't enough though. So I just think it's going to be very important for people to pay the fuck. Wake up. This is the new moon. That's the most bomb one. Everything shifted. There's some radical shifts happening over the next 2 months. So we get to January 20th, but you got to play it day by day and know that, okay, the next day by day of the next 2 weeks, I better jump. I better be a little jumping bean. I better be curious. If something looks, and this is curiosity, this is in my value system, and this is me, you say yes. Stop saying no. Stop being like, it's not fitting into my little fucking hamster life. Oh, man. And I'm saying this because I just know there's going to be a lot of people, right? Look how fast people are falling for this whole hantavirus bullshit. Like, are you fucking retarded? Like, come on. Do I have to I didn't think I was going to have to like spend the next, multiple years doing what I already did through COVID for everyone and fucking be that loudmouth that every day told you you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you follow this. You're an idiot. That's crazy. The light just went. That's so weird. Ooh. I know, Leo. I know. All right, let's pull some cards here. I think what nobody's anticipating, because all you hear people talk about is the great alignment, the great alignment. Nobody wants to talk about Chiron coming into Taurus. Right? The sign which it was discovered in 77. We're 1 year away. We're 1 year away from the discovery of the final return of Chiron. So, in Taurus. Right? So the victim moves to what I don't have. I don't have this. I don't have the relationship. I don't have the money. I don't have the car. I don't have the gas. I don't have the house, because it was the same thing with the fucking prices of fucking homes, the extremely high rates, the stagflation. Nobody could get out of their old assets because they still owed more than they owed the bank. Same shit. This is going to be times 10, though, because of the square to Pluto and all these other things. And this is a new moon in Taurus, so I better be giving you the financial, physical impact on your life. That's what this is about. But if you're just going to, oh no, that's not going to happen. And you're not in new technology, you're not in moving and shaking where the actual facts are. I mean, you might not agree with them. But Gemini doesn't care about your Sagittarian opinions. Look at any astrologer who's got all their big opinions of like, oh, this is bad and blah, 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 and the climate and the data center. And they all got a Sag something huge. Sag moon, Sag this. And then guess what? They have all opinions, but they don't want to face facts. And I'll just say it. Astrology's hermetic. It is not Jupiterian. And every astrologer's dishing Jupiter out. Like, Jupiter's going to give you everything and blessings forever. It's not. It lies. It's the biggest liar in the zodiac. What's the fucking sign, especially more though, the planet that lies more than any other is Jupiter. And what does Jupiter rule over? Pisces as well. And Sag. It's Jupiter. Deception is Neptune. Because there is no truth there. There's objective truth. And all this Gemini energy is trying to tell you right now, like you're not, like you're just, okay, whatever the universe is trying to wake you up to, you're like, but no, that's bad. Why? Because somebody online put it out there? Because I couldn't believe, like people send me shit all the time. Like there are so many bots now that just make up pure shit. Like they always send me, stop vaping. It's causing popcorn lung. I'm like, are you guys, I can't believe people regurgitate a story from fucking 7 years ago about fucking weed pens that was using fucking vitamin E. It's like, don't vape. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Read the fucking comments, people. They're taking an old story about weed pens that were fucking bought on Snapchat. And they reframe it all the time. Just to get 1 million people to share it. To send because they know everybody vapes. Don't vape. Don't vape. Shut the fuck up. Don't get your facts straight. And that's what you see in the astrology community. I don't hear anybody talking about Chiron and Taurus and what's going to happen through all this shit. I don't hear anybody giving people the warning, hey, your little jump train into the hypergate of the universe right now is right now. This is that moment. This next 2 weeks. Take it. Do it. If it's you, if it's curious and it's exciting and it's fucking, you have that value's there and that beauty's there, you fucking take it. Because there's not going to be a lot of windows of that for a while. That's what we'll get, we'll call it christened, into all these outer planets aligning in July. Not what shows up in July. Think about that. At least I gave you guys some, well, I always give truth, but at least I fucking will drop it on you. It's kind of sad. People, there is no hantavirus, okay? I don't know what to tell you. All right, until they fucking give you how many people were unvaccinated on that ship, which they'll never give you. But you know what I was going to say? All of them. You know what the number one people that go on cruise ships are? Vaccinated people. What's the fucking side effect of taking the COVID vax? Hantavirus. Because the side effects are so extreme because it deletes your fucking immune system. If you have the COVID shot, I don't care. You took one. I don't give a fuck. This is why every day for 3 years, and I lost 10,000 subscribers on High Vibe, paying. Because people hated me, and I was right. I was right. Because it deleted your whole immune system and only to look for something that doesn't exist. And permanently changed cells that are never supposed to be permanently changed. They're all supposed to be neutral cells so that they can take on a different thing all the time. And people are living with permanently gene-coded immune systems. So the reason why that list is so crazy, or why there's so many herpes virus versions, or so many HIV versions, or so many hantavirus stuff, and all these other crazy things, is because you can't fight it. But you know what? That's a truth that this. I feel I'll be living good in Uranus Gemini. You know why? Because I'm not afraid to still say it again to remind people, like, hello. Like, the inconvenient truth is Uranus and Gemini. Right? Nobody wanted to believe World War II would happen. Because after World War I, we have the League of Nations. We have all these things in place. Right? Germany will never be able to have the military they want. They have to abide by this shit. Yeah, right. That second that Uranus was in Gemini, fucking all of those fucking old fucking people were sitting in France in a fucking train with Hitler ripping up the fucking contract and the Luftwaffe flying over in Panzer tanks in the fucking forests that came through and off-roaded through France. That's an inconvenient truth, right? Like, oh my God, like that ain't gonna happen. Oh, it did. That Uranus and Gemini is whatever you think won't happen will. I hate to be that guy. So this idea, like, there's no way the COVID shots are the cause of the. Yeah, it is. You don't think that was plugged in 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago when I was making all these predictions? Of course I'm going to look at Uranus and Taurus and then, look at that when Uranus is in Gemini and look at all this shit. Oh, fuck. The inconvenient truth. So. And then the first COVID babies that had the vax, right? from their, or that were in utero, their mothers took it, right? Those data numbers of those 5-year-old kids and stuff that are dying, and their rates are fucking crazy. Or their kids aren't speaking, don't have hair. Oh, but nobody wants to talk about that. Just like Epstein files. Nobody wants to talk about PDF shit. So if they can get away with that, they got away with this. And if you care about your soul enough, which I hope you do, then you will do everything to get that shit out of your body right now. It's fucking cheap. It's natural shit. Not hard to find. But you'll go to the fucking club and drink fucking alcohol. And go on a cruise. And get hantavirus, you know, which is just, oh shit, just pull out the Pfizer list and the Moderna list of like every fucking thing, like, oh shit, I got that. Oh, how did I get that? Why do you think so many people that got vaxxed got shingles? I don't know what to tell these people. I just don't. I only got one. It doesn't matter. Well, there's batch numbers, and some got less than the other. Shut the fuck up. You got it. Own it. There's no more Uranus there to be like, well, it was an experiment, so I could own the experiment. You can't own the experiment anymore. Like, the experiment went bad. Like, squared Saturn and fucking Aquarius, like I said. Right? Experiment's gone bad. Right? Don't be the next victim. That's the other part of Mars, right? Don't be the next victim. Well, I'm a victim. I don't know what to do about it. Go detox that shit out. Go take blood tests. It's not that difficult. It's like, but all these people, you care about your health. You care about your health enough to take it, but you don't care about your health to take a look at what you took. Like, oh my God. Okay, I'm just done with that. It's just, but you know what? To be the guy in the astrology community that's fucking the loudest about this shit and never has ever changed, and even when it looked like all my predictions would be the most insane thing, and all of the Reddit boards are just the Leo King is a crazy motherfucker, and he says this about the shot and all these crazy shit, and all of it's true. All of it came out. All of it, right? Like I lived for years just like, it'll happen. And now everybody's all tripping on hantavirus. Like, just go pick up all those crazy virus and crazy fucking herpes and all this crazy shit that's on there, and just be like, and it's just all there. Whatever the next thing is, I guarantee you it's a side effect of the fucking shots that are the long list that Pfizer was trying to keep away from you for 75 years. Don't forget about that. And it was because of people that all had voices that went against the norm and that would get kicked out of astrology communities and not allowed to go to conferences. People like that, like moi, who made shit like that happen. A lot of people, but not a lot of people. Only 15% of the population on this planet is not injected with fucking gene therapy. Fucking hantavirus. You know what hanta means in Jewish? Fake. Non-existent. All right, what do we got here? I'm trying. We gotta find the most positive energy, but the most positive energy now is in only truth, courage, facing the shit, and doing it. Like, there is no more, let me sit in the back and just kind of ground here and meditate and shit. Those days are over. Still do them, but guaranteed not going to do much as taking action. King of Pentacles reversed. I can't even believe this. I've been pulling Queen and King of Pentacles reversed all week. How funny. This King of Pentacles is exactly everything I've said in this whole horoscope. You need to get over that whatever you used to have and that has been lost, it's over. Financially, whatever you used to value, it's time for you to up your game. Whenever the King of Pentacles reverses, it's like, okay, you might have acquired everything that one, and you can't keep looking back. Like, I used to have this, I used to have this, I used to have that. It's more, get back to like, what is it that I'm going to get? What am I going to manifest here? What is my newest skills? What are my best talents? And stop being all butthurt about it. The King of Pentacles is butthurt. He doesn't have any security in him at all. He's very insecure and unstable because he feels like he's going to lose everything instead of feeling stable. And that, no, it doesn't matter if I lose anything. I'm always able to manifest everything here from God. All right, last one. Queen of Cups, upright. That's interesting. Do you know what emotionally is going to feel good and fulfill you in your life? You're never going to get there, though, if you are an insecure piece of shit that feels like I've already had the best and I'll never get the best again. You have never seen the best. It's better than the best is yet to come. The best is here coming in your fucking face. Are you going to open your mouth and take it? I appreciate you all very much. I will see you on the next one. I'll see you on High Vibe. Make sure you check out Hypergate as well. Also, I'll be putting up that my Sedona talk on High Vibe TV sometime this weekend. I got my kids all weekend, so it'll probably be at night when they're sleeping. All right. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thanks for everybody that came out to Sedona. Also, I'll be out in Idaho at Trinity Hot Springs for the Gemini gathering. It's going to be super awesome, and that's super easy to find. You can go on my Instagram or anywhere for that or look it up. And I'll be out there June 5th through 7th. All right. Much love. I'll do some interesting lives here when I'm on my off, when I'm not, when it's not my time with my kids and I have some extra hours to work. I'll be doing some interesting new lives on YouTube. I'm going to go back to like old Leo King shit. So, but new. I used to do so many different random kind of shows and random kind of like just like insight shit. So it's gonna be interesting because I gotta get people. Fuck. I still care about this collective more than anything, and the collective consciousness, and it is fucking petering on barely alive. Petering. The spiritual community is dying. I know, Leo, I know. So he's been with me for coming up 13 years this year doing this work too. And it's just a bunch of fucking pussies out there. I don't know what else. It's just everybody's become pussy. And decenter men. Oh my God. Good luck when the bombs drop. Chiron comes into Taurus, which is a feminine energy, by the way, right? Venus. It's been in Mars's house. It's about to go into Venus's house. You're not going to want to decenter men. Trust me on that one. Bye-bye.
Something is wrong with the world. You can feel it in the static, in the signals, in the fractures no one else wants to see. I thought I was chasing a secret, a hidden code, a machine buried beneath the noise. But the deeper I went, the more reality began to tear. The city opened, the mask came off, and beyond the chaos, there was another world, ancient, radiant, waiting, and in its light, a woman, Lady Avalon, not a dream, not a ghost, a guide, a warning, a key. Spirit Dial was never just technology, it was a doorway, a threshold between what is ending and what comes next. Now the old world is collapsing in plain sight. The new one is already calling. And once you cross that line, once you see what waits on the other side, you do not return the same.
I see it. The gate is open. No. Tell them I'm not coming back. I'm finishing this right now.
The signal has changed, the future is opening, and this is only the beginning.
It's the Spirit Dial. It bridges the fracture.
How long has it been here?
Waiting for you to answer. Waiting for you to answer.
Get your mind blown, Lady Avalon, only on spiritdial.ai. The signal has changed, the future is opening, and this is only